What else we got on the board for today? Survey says more book bans sought in 2021 than any other point in the past 20 years, group says. This is from Truth Out, Chris Walker, right? So findings from a library organization published on Monday showcase that efforts from right-wing groups, quote unquote, and parents across the country to restrict access to books represent the highest number of challenges to book titles since the year 2000. According to the ALA, the American Library Association, which has been tracking such challenges for over 20 years, more than 700 challenges were made in 2021. These efforts to ban books were directed towards ones that were written by or depict the lives of Black or LGBTQ individuals. ALA's Office for Intellectual Freedom tracked 729 challenges to library, school, and university materials and services in 2021, resulting in more than 1,597 individual book challenge or removals, the organization said in a press release published on Monday. So, I would love if we could also find when the left wingers do this, because I'm sure they do.
Yeah. They just kind of like what we were talking about before the show is that right wingers and left wingers, particularly like the elites, they're all for censorship of books and media. It's just a matter of what they choose to target. The right wingers tend to be more like, they want to get rid of books written by Black people that portray the difficulties of being a Black person in the United States, or LGBTQ writers, whereas the neoliberals are more like, well, we don't want anybody that uses too harsh a language or that talks about revolutions or that has too much violence in it. You're never going to see a bunch of the right wingers being angry about a book being too violent, but you'll see the neoliberals do that all the time with film and books as well. So it's just a matter of what they're censoring. And this is why I'm doing my Pay It Forward project Bookworm on my, in my spare time, is because this is only going to get worse. With both movies and film in this country. It doesn't matter who's at the helm, Trump, Biden, as long as the elites in their current stranglehold on media exist, they're going to use their troll farms, they're going to use their apparatus to censor things like this. And that's just something we have to combat.
So ALA President Patricia Patty Wong said in a statement that parents should involve themselves in what books their children decide or want to read, but restricting other parents' rights to do the same can harm children. We support individual parents' choices concerning their child's reading and believe that parents should not have those choices dictated by others, Wong said. Young people need to have access to a variety of books from which they can learn about different perspectives. Libraries remain ready to do what we always have, make knowledge and ideas available so people are free to choose what to read, Wong added. The vast majority of Americans oppose book bans. The ALA conducted a poll published last month demonstrating that 71% of U.S. voters opposed efforts to remove books from schools, libraries, or universities. That includes 70% of Republican respondents who agreed that book bans are harmful, the poll found. So, in spite of that, however, there have been a large and vocal push by conservative groups and parents promoted by Republican lawmakers to restrict access to books they deem objectionable. The push to politicize Black and LGBTQ people's existence is evidence of growing fascism on the right. Importantly, those efforts have been opposed by many librarians throughout the country. Some have ignored requests from lawmakers to compile titles for them that could contain material that they object to, limiting these politicians' abilities to use such books to make political grandstanding gestures that are meant to appeal to bigoted constituents. Students have also opposed attempts to ban them from reading books that the far right wants banned. In some Texas schools, for instance, students have created book clubs that specifically highlight banned titles. Texan students have noted the hypocrisy of trying to ban books, as some of the reasons given for banning books about Black or LGBTQ people aren't also applied to books with white or heterosexual characters. Book titles with heterosexual scenes, heterosexual ideas were permissible, but the second something turns slightly queer, slightly homosexual, it discomforts them. One student, Megan Sadeghi, a senior at a high school outside of Houston, said to the Texas Tribune in early March, "Why do we have to remove books about black people and Asian Americans simply for the sake of white people's comfort?" Sadeghi added. So definitely some id poll stuff going on here, but I just thought go ahead.
I love that the students are doing that, by the way. That's exactly what I'm doing with my project, where I collect books from all of the like Goodwills and Habitat for Humanity, and I'll buy them used online. Right. Books that have traditionally been censored, but also books that I think are going to get censored. And then I write in the inside of the title page right there, this is not a book that should ever end up on a bookshelf. After you've read it, pass it on to somebody and spread it all over the place. When I see that there's a piece of media or entertainment that's being censored, my first impulse is always to go out there and watch it or read it to see why the establishment is trying to get rid of it. And you see that with old books, again, written by Black authors or LGBTQ authors. But in the future, and I talked to you about this, Reef, they started taking V for Vendetta, which is one of my favorite graphic novels, off of the bookshelves. Mouse, which is again deals with Nazis, has been censored as well. Why the Last Man, and a lot of these are, in fact, they're not being taken down by just right wingers, as that Truth Out article says. They're being taken down by liberals they don't like that they're revolutionary minded, and that's why V for Vendetta is a dangerous book to some people. It has nothing to do with any homosexuality or racist undertones or exposing even white supremacy. It's all about, it's like a template for revolution. So they want it taken down. Same reason why for a while there, the ending of Fight Club was censored in China. There's a reason that they're doing that. So what I've done is, in my spare time, I have a buddy that has a movie theater in downtown Peoria. So every Friday we show censorable movies, and we have people come over and hang out and watch the movies. And I hand out books for free that I find that are censorable books. So I've got a ton of them. We have to fight censorship somehow, because this is like book burning. Back in the day, they burned books because the internet didn't exist. But now all of this stuff, what they want to do is essentially book burning by removing it not only from the shelves, but also removing it from the internet and censoring it. It's essentially the same function. And that's what we've got. And we have in this country, in fact, the Democrats are in charge, and this is happening. Right. So, it's coming from both parties. I don't want to, not say that the right wingers don't do the same thing. They do, but they do it for different reasons. And they both kind of types of the neo-libs versus the right wingers. They both want to censor different things. How about we just say no more cancel culture? Let people say what they want to say, and let's not become Nazi Germany. People should be able to read whatever they want. Yeah, but if you don't want to read the book, don't read the book. They haven't
read Fahrenheit 451 because it was banned. Exactly. They don't know that.
Exactly. That's one of the books I have.
Right. I have 2 copies. Anything by Steinbeck, usually gets pulled too. Like, especially Grapes of Wrath was on the constant ban stuff for a minute.
Was it? I have that copy. I might add that to the stack.
Like, there's tons of those books that are out there that people. Here's what I feel like should be done, and I felt that way for a minute. If you go into any hotel room or motel room, whether you paid hourly or by day, I'll let you guys decide which one you did. If you just open that drawer, what's in there?
Bible.
Right. All the time. I would love for people to start leaving, put the manifesto in there,
Dude, that's a good idea.
Like, put whatever in there. That. Like, so, like, regardless of what, I think getting those kind of books and information out there is, a big deal, right? You should take a camera next time you do one of those film nights. That would be fun.
Yeah, I did last time. It was just a little too dark. We watched Fight Club last week, and then this week we've got Clockwork Orange and Dr. Strangelove. So we're doing 2 Kubricks.
Those will be good.
That ought to be fun. Yeah, that's going to be Friday at 7:30 in downtown Peoria. If you guys want to come hang out with me. I'll do an episode about it tomorrow on my show.
Nice. Sounds good.